You're wondering, I'm here to speak in favor of the resolution in front of you. A number of the speakers have made the point that since we all use energy, we should allow gas extraction here because it's our turn. I kind of call that the take one for the team defense, and I think it's very misguided. The logical outcome of that thinking is that we should trash the whole planet before we start looking for serious alternatives to what we're doing right now. I mean, look, my wife and I, we built a super insulated house. We installed a solar hot water heater. We drive the most energy efficient cars we can in their safety class. We would do more, but the market doesn't provide us with more opportunities. And the reason it doesn't provide us with more opportunities is because not enough people, like us here, and like the folks in coal country, haven't stood up and said, no, you will not produce cheap fossil fuel on the backs of our health, our environment, and our communities. And only when we say no to that will the companies come up with safer ways to extract the gas or better ways to produce alternative energy. It is the artificially subsidized cheap fossil fuel, subsidized by our health, that prevents us from having better opportunities for energy today. Second, some rather preposterous estimates were made of ad valorem tax revenues that have been floating around the community. And my first piece of advice is if something sounds too good to be true, well, it probably is. It's a little hard to evaluate all that was said because unless you have all the data, you can't be sure what's going on. But making an estimate requires knowing things about how much gas there is, how fast wells will be drilled, what the state will allow you to charge as far as the value of those sort of things. I have taken a look at the information. I've given a sheet to all the board members and the town clerk in which I lay out the assumptions I'm making and given reasonable estimates for how much gas there is based on USGS data and estimates by a professor at Penn State, Terry Gelder. I come up with, over about the next 30 years, I think about $1.6 to $3.3 million, which is a fair amount of money, but compared to how much other tax revenues the town gets during that time, it's only about 4 to 8%. But the more important point to realize is that while that money is coming in, a lot is walking out the door the other way. Because when the gas companies are here, there's a lot of extra burdens and tax burdens on the town. So the one guy that's looked at this, and I know of, Jeffrey Jaquette, looked at several communities out west, and what he found was, looked at 3 different communities. In 2 of them, they managed to break even. In the 3rd one, the town lost ground in tax revenues due to the extra costs incurred by gas drilling. So I know that everyone on this board voted for a resolution that supported the home rule idea. But it's easy to be for the idea of home rule, kind of being for motherhood and apple pie. The question is whether you will fight for home rule. And where would we be if Rosa Parks didn't fight for what she thought was right? I'm asking for you guys, if you support home rule, fight for what you think is right, and pass this resolution. Yeah.